Hello, beautiful collectives out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl. And this is your monthly forecast for November 2025. Okay, we're already at the end of the year, but we're still in Scorpio season, and there's a lot of Scorpio energy out there. So there's a lot of reveal. You know, Scorpio is mysterious, but the revealing of the false truths are coming out in the open. So just be aware that, you know, the untruths, the lies, the underhanded hate is showing up. And that way, that energy can be dealt with. We have a full moon that's coming up on the 5th, and it's a super full moon, and it's in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is about agriculture and about finances. But here in the U.S., we can see the breakdown of our governmental system and the those people who are in need of extra help for food and subsidy. So that is opening up and crumbling out into the open. But then on a personal note, those who are those people who have been deceitful, deceiving, and out to hide their feelings towards another person is coming out in the open. Okay, and that energy that's coming out has to be dealt with. Okay, so that's the purpose of it being shown. That's why the veil is thin now, so that each individual can see what it is that you're doing and what it is that has been done to you. Now, those people who have been done to, you'll get to see how this karmic energy plays out, because all of that negative energy that has been thrown at you by, you know, people you don't know, is being returned to sender. Okay, and it's once it's returned to its sender, it has to be dealt with. Okay, so anyway, as I said before, this is your monthly reading for November. Now, as we get into the month, we have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th. And we have that super full moon on the 5th. And Venus moves into Scorpio on the 6th. Uranus is retrograding back to Taurus at that 29 degrees on the 7th. And Mercury turns retrograde in Sagittarius on the 9th. Jupiter turns retrograde in Cancer on the 11th. Mercury turns retrograde, I just said that. The new moon in Scorpio is at 28 degrees, and that's on the 19th. And Saturn in Pisces is stationing direct on the 27th, and then Mercury turns direct on the 29th. So with all of the retrogrades that are happening now, this is turning you inward to look at those areas in your life that needs to be refurbished or cleansed, I will say. Okay, Now, a lot of you may not be ready to face your fears because that's exactly what's happening in this Scorpio energy. It's a lot of fear-based energy that is showing up. But when you face your fears and you deal with what it is that's coming up for you, then over time, you'll be able to take a step up in your vibration. So, with all of this energy happening, especially with Uranus, it is like an electric energy where things happen all of a sudden. But while it's in retrograde, it won't act as fast as it would normally act if it was in its forward motion. So I just want to say that those people who are out there who are trying to hurt, cause pain, trauma to another person, all of that is coming back to you. And a lot of times people cannot take what they dish out. They can't handle it. So are you ready to handle what you are dishing out? That is up to you. And now it's time for me to get into the forecast for the month. So I will see you on the other side. Hello to my beautiful Gemini risings out there. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow, and Astro Cheryl. I might as well say that too, because I did change my my YouTube name, and it is Astro Cheryl. And I do use A Magnificent Flow from time to time. But here I want to focus on Astro Cheryl. So this is for Gemini rising, and welcome to my channel. And this is your forecast for November 2025. Okay? So on the 3rd, we have Mars in Scorpio making a trine to retrograde Neptune in Pisces. And this is happening in your 6th house and your 10th house. So Mars is in Scorpio in your 6th house. And this is your house of daily routine, your work, your co-workers, your health as well, and being of service. Okay, your 10th house is about your public view, your career, your subordinates, and your authority as well. So this is favorable because it's a trine, and trines always act like gifts, that's being given. So this transit promotes creativity, channeling energy, acting with compassion, and possibly pursuing work that aligns with your spiritual or your altruistic goals. Now that's important, is figuring out what really works for you in your career sector. Okay, this transit supports inspired and potent, being Scorpio and Mars, work routines infused with compassionate vision and spiritual insights into the benefits of your efforts in your day-to-day work and long-term dreams and public roles. However, challenges may involve balancing idealism without losing your strategic focus. Now, Mars in Scorpio, Mars rules Scorpio as well, is strategic, and Scorpio is deeply it gets involved on a deeper level. Okay, it's not a surface seeing type of energy. It wants to get inside of another person and see what's on the inside as well. Okay, so make sure that you are focused on what is going to bring you satisfaction in your career sector. Okay. Now on the 4th, we have Mars entering Sagittarius, and this is happening in your 7th house. And this is your house of one-on-one relationships, business partners, contracts, close friends, family, and open enemies. Okay? So here you are encouraged to express love through your shared experiences, travel, philosophical discussions, and spontaneous adventures. This is the Sagittarius energy that is showing up here in your 7th house. So you may have a strong desire for independence within your relationships, which may create challenges around commitment or the need for constant excitement. Okay? And you know, both Mars and Sagittarius, they are physical energies. They like to be on the move. Okay? Mars like to be strategic, you know, plan it out and go for it. You know, Sagittarius is higher minded, higher spirited, you know, thinks higher and wants to share knowledge with people around, and they like to not to stay in one place too long. All right, so you might feel a little, you know, antsy or want to do something. And you should, if you want to do it. All right, so we have on that same day, we have Mars in Sagittarius in an opposition, a tug of war, with retrograde Uranus in the sign of Gemini. And this is happening in your 7th house of relationships and your 1st house of self. So the 1st house is about you, how you perceive who you are and how other people perceive you as well. Okay? This is about, you know, how you look, how you dress, and how you act. Okay? So Gemini rising, this tension is strong between the desire for partnerships and excitement in relationships and the urge for your personal freedom. Unexpected changes and self-reinventions can occur, okay? You may experience sudden, unexpected disruptions or breakups in relationships. If your need for personal freedom or change overrides your partnership stability. Okay? So just keep that in mind, because oppositions and squares are all about growth. Okay? So if you have something good going on in your partnership and it, you know, if you see that it is what you want, then you know where you should be. Otherwise, if that's not your thinking process, you know, then maybe your freedom is the story. So it's up to you to decide that. But this is an opposition, and oppositions are not easy to get through. They bring, you know, pain and growth. Okay? So on the 5th, we have the full moon in Taurus, and this is happening in your 12th house of retreat, unconscious mind, karma. This is the house of past life information and ancestral information as well, and things that we keep hidden, like old patterns that we didn't know that we were operating from being our authentic self, okay? So it's in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is fixed, and with the fixed sign, Taurus have a tendency to want to hold on for dear life to things that make them feel comfortable. But, this is not the place to feel comfortable. The 12th house is not that place. This is a place of recognizing what no longer serves you and and letting it go so that you can bring something new in. It was something else I wanted to say instead of what I just said, but this is where I am right now. Okay, so this placement brings a strong urge for solitude and retreat to process your feelings, your dreams, and your subconscious messages for emotional clarity. Okay, you have the potential to release limiting beliefs, your own self-undoing patterns, or karmic baggage that hinder your personal growth. Your intuition and empathy are heightened, so set your boundaries to avoid overwhelm. You have the opportunity for deeper self-understanding, compassionate communication, and the eventual healing of relationships by embracing your inner emotional shifts. Now, that's a great thing that's happening for you, Gemini rising, because this is definitely going to bring growth into your life. And I know you probably have been, asking questions about, what life is about, what is spirituality, what does a church mean, and, things of that nature. What does that mean to you? And this is where you're going to get some of your answers. And a lot of times the answers show up in other people, okay? And you may not have to go to them, they may just come to you. So this is a full moon, a time for you to release and let go what no longer serves you. Even if you don't know what that is, sometimes we feel the pain. And if we feel the pain, we can ask that it be released. Okay? So we're going to move on to the 6th. Yeah. And this is Jupiter in Cancer making a trine to retrograde Saturn in Pisces. And this is happening in your second house of finance, self-worth, your possessions, and your 10th house of career, your public view, and subordinates and authority figures. So this may be a growth period for you where your career and financial resources can expand harmoniously when managed wisely. Okay, expanding is about Jupiter's energy. All right, and the harmonious is Cancer. There may be optimism for tangible career advancement. Opportunities, not optimism, but optimism is there because Jupiter is here as well. But in this case, we're talking about opportunity for tangible career advancement that improves your financial standing through careful planning, persistence, and emotional intelligence in dealing with others. Okay, so this is a trine. Trines are gifts. So appreciate what is being given and grow from this wonderful trine that's happening for you in your 2nd and 10th house, the house of money and the house of career. Okay, on the same day, we also have Venus in Scorpio squaring Jupiter in Cancer, and this is happening in your sixth house as well as your second house. Your sixth house is about your routine, your daily routine, your work, your health, your being of service, your co-workers. Okay, so again, this is more of a money house. The 10th house is a money house, 6th house is a money house, the second house is a money house. Okay, so this is square, is creates tension. Okay, and again, it is meant for us to grow into. Okay, so this transit brings tension, and you may have intense emotional desires. Intense emotional is Scorpio's energy. Okay, for deep, and deep is also Scorpio energy. Connections in your daily routine and work. Okay, you may experience expansion or challenges in your financial and material security and self-esteem. There is also tension between wanting control and emotional depth versus the need for generous nurturing and stability. And, you know, with Scorpio being that intense energy, it's also associated with control. All right. But this is something where, you know, you can take on the high road of, you know, that being that generous, nurturing person that you can be, and show your stability. Okay. So on the 7th, we have Uranus retrogrades back to Taurus. And this is happening in your 12th house. And I've already spoke about the full moon in your 12th house as well. So you may feel disruptive internal shifts and a strong urge to break free from old karmic patterns or deep-seated fears. This is a time for spiritual exploration and unconventional healing methods, and possibly confronting past traumas or hidden emotional wounds. Now, when I spoke to you about the 12th house and the full moon in Taurus in the 12th house, that energy passes quickly, whereas this vibration with Uranus in retrograde, it stays a lot longer, so that you can do the work that you need to do to break free of the old karmic patterns and those deep-seated fears that are affecting you, and you may not even know it, but you may feel, you know, uncomfortable inside. So just allow yourself to experience it and let it go. Okay? So on the 9th, we have retrograde Mercury in Sagittarius, and this is happening in your 7th house. And just so you know, when I mention retrograde, some of you may already know that means that things are being turned inward. So you are going to be looking at your subconscious energy, those old patterns, you know, things that are beyond you, you know, that may been you may have adapted to from your parents, you know, or your grandparents, which is not you. Okay, so reviewing, revising, reflecting, all of that is an internal process. And we have a lot of that happening this month, you know, with Uranus, with Jupiter, with Mercury, with Saturn. All of this is and with Neptune. This is all internal stuff. And the good part is that it's so much of it that we can really get down to the nitty-gritty of letting go of those parts and pieces of energy that is not us, okay? Or not you or not me. So just so you know, this is, is happening to all of us, and it's something that has to be done. It has to be done. So, as I was saying, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius in your 7th house. Or did I say that? No. You can expect a time of introspection and revision in your close partnerships where communication issues surface for resolution. Okay? Avoid launching major relationship commitments during this time and use it as an opportunity to clarify, to heal, and rebalance your existing relationships. Okay, and on the 11th, we have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, and this is happening in your 2nd house of money. Okay? So, you are encouraged to review past emotional experiences, healed old wounds, and find a better internal balance related to home, family, and your personal security. There may be ups and downs related to family, support, or financial trusts, requiring patience and care. Health issues related to the throat or teeth may occur. So, Gemini rising, get your, take care of your teeth. If your teeth are missing or hurting or anything like that, take care of it, because Saturn rules the skeletal system, it rules the teeth, and Saturn is very active for this latter part of the year, very active. So this is a good time for you to take care of that part of you, okay? All right, so moving on to that, on the 19th, we have a new moon in Scorpio, and this is happening in your 6th house. And this is your house of daily routine, your work, your co-workers, being of service, and your health. So you may experience motivating and intense emotional investment in your daily task and work. There is the potential for emotional sensitivity around your health. So adopting healing or spiritual practices like meditation or yoga can be of benefit. You may experience power struggles in the workplace as well. Okay? And the power struggles is all about Scorpio. Okay? Scorpio is controlling, it has that intense energy, and it's bossy. So here we go on to the 22nd. We have the sun entering into Sagittarius in your 7th house. Something. All right. And your 7th house, I've already spoke about, so you should know what the relationship patterns are in the 7th house. Okay? You may feel adventurous and free-spirited within your partnerships, fostering shared experiences, which is good, philosophical discussions, exploration, and a desire for freedom within your relationships. This is Sagittarius energy here. However, your commitments may feel challenging as you seek excitement and stimulation over your routines. Okay? So with the sun in Sagittarius, you may be doing something different in your relationship space as opposed to what normally happens, and that can feel by the other person can feel unusual. Okay, so we have on the 27th, we have Saturn stationed direct in Pisces, and this is happening in your 10th house of career, okay, of your public image and your subordinates, your co-workers, and your authority figures as well. So let's see. Excuse me. Your karmic lessons related to your career, public reputation, and long-term achievements are reflected outward now. Okay? This transit calls for mature leadership, disciplined creativity, and grounding visionary ambitions into reality. So whatever your ambitions are, it's time for you to make real. Bring them outside the head or the heart and materialize them into your reality. You are asked to set clear professional goals and uphold ethical standards in public. Wow, that's great. So maybe, you might be getting a promotion. Gemini rising. So we have Mercury station direct in Scorpio, and this is happening in your, I think it's in your ninth house. Let's see. No, it's in your sixth house. Mercury in Scorpio stations direct, and this is in your sixth house. Okay, so in your sixth house, your even though you have deep emotional conversations that are intense with others around your work tasks, and those in your environment, the communication is clear. People understand you now that the Mercury is stationing direct, because when it's in retrograde, it has a tendency to have miscommunications, misunderstandings. So you're in a place with this Mercury direct on the 29th where your communication is clear and sound. Okay? So, Gemini rising, this is your forecast for November 2025. And until next time, bye for now.